What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show. As always, I'd like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. 2020 Podcast News Award winner and 2018 award winner in the innovation category given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. Also, once a month, I host the only podcast in the world for dads and fathers that is sponsored by Dove Men Care, and it's also co-sponsored by Dad Central, Canada's national fatherhood organization. And one other little thing I do once in a while, I am the board chair for an organization called the Global Food and Drink Initiative. It's a multimedia nonprofit, that is dedicated to showcasing Blacks in the diaspora that are involved in food, wine, and travel. So we are continuing this journey called Dads Talking. As you may or may not know, I'm starting a journey having one-on-one conversations with dads that I'm meeting all around the world. And we have another dad here tonight that I met through the Clubhouse platform who is a super dad. Like, we got to get him some kind of S on his chest, because he is a super dad, because he gives to his family and he gives his community and he gives to fathers. So let me give you a little background on him. Joshua Zawadi. He is the owner and founder of Melanated Daddy, a fatherhood and mental health advocacy platform that celebrates the process of parenting and unpacking trauma to heal in order to be intentional figures in the lives of their children. He's also the man behind Dad Doula. And actually, someone called me about 20 minutes before this live conversation. I'd saying, is the guy from Dad Doula going to be on? I said, yes. So you've got input in Canada. You got footprint in Canada and the Dad Connect programs. The mission of Dad Doula is to provide resources and guidance for the non-birthing parent as they plan to support the birthing person during the pregnancy, labor and delivery, and thereafter. This is done by learning how to advocate and support with intentional presence. This service is extended to expecting parents, new and again parents, and parents looking to re-enter their children's lives. Dad Connect is simply a curated space for dads to come together and connect, vent, and learn from one another in a safe space. He's an Army veteran, husband, biological, and bonus dad to 4 children. I love the bonus dad. He is a lover of Christ and believes in community. His passion of fatherhood is rooted in the belief that iron sharpens iron. So welcome for the first time and hopefully not the last time, Mr. Joshua. What is going on, my brother?
My brother, how are you?
I am blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. And so are you.
Specifically, just so I can hear you say that again. I love that.
No.
I love that.
I received that. And I know you just came off another conversation, and I had to bug you because you were dropping so many knowledge bombs. I said, save something for Dr. Vibe's audience, man. Save something for us. But I'd like to say thank you for taking time in your positive, productive schedule to share with us.
Anything for brothers and for dadding, I will always make time for. So no problem.
Received. And I had, when we did before we came on live, I said to Joshua, you know what? We're going to talk a little bit about you tonight. We're going to get to the father piece. Mm-hmm. And he said, you know what? I've never had a chance to tell my story.
I've never told the whole story. Never.
So start.
If I'm going to start the story on Joshua Zawadi, it starts at Joshua Liston. So Zawadi is my married name. I married a feminist who didn't believe in taking last names. So
I want to interrupt you right there. How did you respond to that, and how did others respond to that?
So for me, it wasn't an issue, and the reason is my last name is my adopted last name anyway.
Okay.
So I am a adoptee. My mother, who I love with all my heart, is a Liston, which made me a Liston. So for me, there was no attachment to the name. My family's still my family. Liston, Staples, all the people who are bloodly related to that name are still my family. But my wife was unwilling to take a man's last name. So we created a last name that we chose together. And Zawadi in Swahili means the gift. So the family that we have now curated is our gift, which is why we chose that last name.
Wonderful. Okay, let's go back to the track now.
So
Young Joshua.
Joshua Liston is an adoptee born in Jersey. I born in Newark, New Jersey, adopted at the age of 3, I believe. by my mama, Darlene Liston, which then made me Joshua Liston. We moved from Jersey to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Raised here in the Baptist church my whole life. You almost could have thought it was a PK because my pastor acted like my godfather, so it was about the same thing. But then after going through high school, elementary, middle school, high school, we were very upper middle class. My mother's a principal, so financially we were good. But I went to college and realized that the education that I had received all through middle and high school wasn't retained because it didn't fit me. It wasn't for me. So I went to college for literally 2 semesters and then joined the Army.
Wow.
From the Army, I served 10 years. Did countless things. Loved what I did. Loved the battle buddies, the friends, the things I made. And then retired. I got medically retired out. So I still get a check. I still do all that.
Very good.
And then kind of went through a discovery period afterwards, which I call myself the period of being on the potter's wheel. When I got out the military, I was so attached to man that I forgot who God was. Because in the Army, you are attached to your battle buddies, your brothers, your sisters. So you become connected, almost dependent on man. And when I got out of the Army, every job I applied for told me, man, I love what you do, but you're overqualified. I can't hire you. So literally I went 6 months because when I retired out, my retirement didn't kick in right away. It was backlogged. I had to wait almost 6 months to get my first check for retirement. So we, I'm single at this time. So my wife is not even in my life at this moment. I'm living in a truck. I'm staying on friends' couches because paying rent just wasn't feasible when you ain't got no money. And nobody had a job for me. So it came down to one night where I was staying with a friend of mine whose mother was one of the mothers of the church. And I said, you know what, God, I can't do this no more. I'm done. I get in my car, and in Tennessee, Clarksville to be exact, where I was stationed at Fort Campbell, there's a thing called the River Walk, and really it's just the river that runs through Clarksville, Tennessee. I had all intentions of driving into this river.
Wow.
So I'm speeding down what we call Fort Campbell Boulevard. I'm doing probably 90, 95 miles an hour. And then out of nowhere, I get a phone call. The weird thing about this is I didn't pay my phone bill, so my phone was off.
Talk to me.
My phone started ringing. I said, what is this? I answer my phone. It's my battle buddy. Her husband's like, God is telling me that you about to do something stupid. What's wrong? I said, Battle, I don't feel like talking. She said, stop. Come to my house. I said, no, shut up. Come to my house. Okay. So I go to her house. Her and her husband meet me outside. And when I tell you I had never received an embrace like that in my life. And all they kept saying is God said, hold on a little bit longer. And they just held me. They fed me. They held me. And then I went back to my boy's mama house and went back to sleep. Literally 48 hours later, I landed the second biggest job of my life.
Wow.
And it was a connection that I made at the church that I was attending at the time in Kentucky. He said, well, I used to be, in this position at this mental hospital. I got some pull. Let me get you in. And 48 hours later, I had a job. Mind you, 48 hours earlier, I just tried to kill myself. So, yeah, 48 hours later, I had a gig. So then great job, great benefits. I love what I did. I was speaking life into young people and soldiers alike, just doing the work. And then they downsized and let me go.
Ooh.
Got it. So I said, okay, God, I'm not going to freak out this time like I did last time because I've seen you work it out. So, God, guess what? You're not a God that you can lie, so I need you to make it happen. What's next? Well, the education that I learned in that previous job opened up a door at another state facility doing the same thing. Landed that job. I did that for about a year and a half. And then it was time for me to leave the South. Leave Tennessee, I should say. But I was fighting it. I didn't want to go. Like, no, I got friends. I got my life set up. I don't want to leave. So God took the job again. And then so I said, well, since I ain't got no job now, it's time to go. So I ended up taking the job with Verizon Wireless. Shout out to probably my favorite job I've ever had. And they shipped me up to Georgia for training. And I stayed in Georgia after at a mall as a salesperson, making really good money. Got promoted to manager, and that sent me to Texas. Was a manager in Texas for a year, and then that's when I started my ministry. That's when I started preaching. My brother TJ, shout out to T. He's probably watching on whatever platform. TJ was very adamant and very in tune with God. The title of TJ is a prophet. He was able to hear things that I was not able to hear. And we're sitting there playing the video game. We're playing 2K because that's my brother. We boys. We playing 2K. And he looks at me and he says, brother, God said that your wife is ready for you to receive her, but you got to choose her. And I need you to go do this work because God says he's not going to play this game with you. Either you're going to choose one or you're not. I said, okay, cool. Got it. Whatever. So then I go home after playing 2K with TJ and I said, okay, God, if my wife is ready for me, right? If my wife is going to be a thing and we're going to do this thing, then God, I need you to show me who she is. Like, I need you to show me so that I can do what I got to do to prepare myself. Obviously, the way God talks to me is different than others. He doesn't just, sometimes he talks, but often he just sends me glimpses, images, so forth and so on. And I go on Instagram and then I see my wife's picture as the first 6 pictures on Instagram. Mind you, nobody's picture is 6 in a row. You might get one, but then you go get everybody else who posted a picture. I had 6 pictures of my wife in a row. I said, okay, God, this just don't. I refreshed Instagram. I get 4 new pictures of the same woman. I said, okay, God, this is weird. This ain't making no sense. So me and my wife actually went to school together in high school before I got administratively kicked out for bad behavior.
Hold on a second. Define administratively kicked out. That's so politically correct.
I was a child who was raised in toxic masculinity.
Okay.
And I was never a child to do fight or flight. It was
Right.
fight or fight.
Right.
And I didn't care who you was, age-wise, I'd come see you. So looking at me on this picture, you don't see, I'm 6'3", 300 pounds. I didn't care who you were. I'm coming for you, right?
Yep.
So that ended up getting me a nice, and my mom's a principal in the same school system.
Oh, shame.
Yeah. So the principal just called my mama and said, hey, girl, I'm going to do you a solid. I'm not going to kick him out. You got to remove him because he cutting up. So I left the best high school in Milwaukee to go to the worst high school in Milwaukee.
Shame.
Which was, and I'm not going to say my high school name. I'm not going
to. No. Edit. We'll leave it out.
But it was an experience I needed because when you can humbly see how your actions affect you early enough, you can start making changes. So I had to do the work from then point to realize, okay, I got this brawn, I got this size. Let me be constructive with it. And so I got into football. Football, weightlifting, basketball, baseball. I played almost every sport except for soccer.
Right.
And I was able to channel my anger, channel my things into sports. It got me some friendships that I still have to this day, but it prepared me for the next thing, which was the Army that I just talked about. Mm-hmm. So back to my wife and meeting her. We were high school. She was the high school DJ for the high school. So she was DJ Symphony on the 1s and 2s was her little name. And
she's making sure you get it right. I can hear in the background.
It's not little name, it's my name, right? But I was there with my cousins, and I said, bro, like, I want her. And I was like, go talk to her. She cool. I was like, nah, I ain't ready for that. Fast forward 13 years, I finally got my shot and I took it. And now she's stuck with me for life.
As he looks at her, and I don't want to see the look on her face.
She's stuffing her face, so she ain't saying nothing. She knows she's stuck. Here she comes. Now she want to say something.
Hi, Queen.
Hello.
Good stuff.
So that is my story. Yeah, I went from, it was interesting.
No, well, just a few things before we move on to the next part of our conversation. What kept you going when you were young, even when the times were dim?
I used to tell a story about when I talked to patients who were mentally unstable and they were either homicidal or suicidal. And I used to always tell them I was too pretty to kill myself and too scared to go to jail to kill somebody else. So to answer your question, I had an inner strength that was rooted in God from my upbringing that I didn't realize was there until I tapped into it after the army. The Bible says, train a child in the way they should go, and they won't depart from it. Right. I was literally trained from 6 years old until now that God is my dad. And that's literally the way, because I didn't have a father growing up. A lot of my anger came from two things: toxic masculinity and not having a father to show me this manhood thing.
Right.
And slightly being adopted. That's another part too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But, I never realized that I was imprinting myself with the understanding that I had a dad the whole time. Right. So when the times got hard and I was unable to pull the strength from just my own brawn, something from the inside kicked into high gear and did it for me. It wasn't anything I could do. It was something that just automatically was like a slight switch. Oh, this is too big for you? Hold on. I got it. And I will go into autopilot through these situations. So a lot of it is due to my faith base and being rooted. Another part of it is my calling, and not my minister calling. I'm not talking about that one. My calling in reference to the work I have to do with men.
Okay, we're gonna parking lot that. I'm gonna ask: is your mother still alive?
My mother is still alive. Yes.
Praise God to that. Tell me, especially in those younger years, how important your mother was to your existence.
So, if I'm going to be honest, this is a two-headed sword conversation because I love my mother with all of me, but I put my mother on a pedestal that she shouldn't have been on.
Explain.
My mother is human. So because she's human, she's flawed, right? And I put my mama on this pedestal like she couldn't do no wrong. But the moment she did wrong, it rocked my core.
Okay.
And it took me to be grown to understand that my mama is a human. She's not Superwoman. She's not Batgirl. She's not Wonder Woman. She is a woman who is flawed and has her own trauma to deal with.
When did you start realizing that? Was there a moment?
Like 6 weeks ago. My wife is the single highest catalyst for change for me. I was very hard on my mother, especially with baby Love. Y'all didn't see her, but he did. Baby Love is my 5-month-old. I am a grizzly bear over all my kids, but especially that one. And I didn't reserve space for my mother in their lives because of how she treated me.
Yeah.
And I had to have a conversation with her. And then I had it with my mother. And then my wife said, baby, you had the conversation. You drew the lines. Let her show you she can do it. No, she not going to. She said, baby, listen, you're talking like the hurt 7-year-old. Let your mama be better for them than she was for you.
You know, we have to have your wife on separately. You know that, right?
You see, she came in here and waved. She's going to jump on whenever you tell her.
No problem. That's no problem.
That's the lifestyle.
When tell me how you felt before that conversation with your mother during that conversation and after that conversation?
So the conversation truly started because I have an 8-year-old bio daughter already. Kalani is my daughter that I made in the military. She's upstairs in the bed sleep. I'm blessed to be in a situation where I co-parent and blended family parent very well. So I don't have to go through certain circumstances that some brothers have to.
Yep.
I have my baby when I want my baby, and then she goes home when it's time to go home. Right.
Beautiful.
So
Beautiful.
during the school year, she's with me. During the summer, Mama has her.
Okay.
But I had to have a conversation with Mama because my bonus babies realized that Kalani got a different level of attention than they did. And what I wasn't going to do is if I have all my kids from 8, 7, 4, and newborn on the same playing field, I need you to do the same thing. Because what we're not going to do is create divide on who can call grandma and who has to just be the bone. No. She is all y'all grandma. She will love all of y'all the same. And if you can't, that's fine. Just don't come around.
Wow.
Because I have 2 bonus babies who already feel neglected by their father. You're not going to add to that. We can't do that. So we had that talk and Mama received it perfectly fine. I get it. I understand. So then fast forward to my mama texting me to see the newborn. I want to see the baby. And I'm not replying. I'm not responding. I'm cold shouldering my mama the whole time. To the point where she has to text my wife. And my wife was like, baby, let your mama come to the house. And the dynamic of the dynamic of our household is really weird. I tell everybody, my wife appointed me the head, but my wife is very much the neck. The head can't turn if the neck don't let it. So because of that, my wife is very, very good at making me do things that I don't want to do. She has an innate ability to talk into the inside of me and say, baby, stop. You okay? Stop. So she said, baby, let her see these babies. What's going on, brother DJ?
Hey, brother DJ. It's another person, everyone. Please follow him wherever you are. Incredible father, willing to receive and willing to give. So great to have you here.
So my wife said, baby, let your mama in and just see what she does. You guys had the conversation. Let it happen. Okay, cool, whatever. So mama comes over, and when I tell you my mama greets all the kids, and she buys gifts and food for all the kids. After that conversation, if my mama was to be graded on a grandmother scale, she's a 32 out of 10. On a mother scale, we have some work to do. But regardless of that, she has shown up tremendously as a grandma. So because of that, I'm blessed to say she's still in our lives. My wife lost her mother last year.
My condolences.
2 years ago. So
my condolences.
My mama had to be exceptional because her mother was an angel. Like to see a mother work as hard as her mother did was crazy. So my wife knows what motherhood should look like, which is what really pushed me into why my fatherhood is the way it is.
Thank you for sharing that, my friend. And I hope you feel good sharing that out for the first time.
I've never told my whole story. When you asked me, I said, wait, I've never told the whole story, have I?
Well, it's important when I help men, because I don't work with men, because if I would work with men, I would lose all the rest of the hair I have on my body. TMI, right? But every man, every father has a story.
Mm-hmm.
And we have been in some digital rooms together, and we know the importance for having that brave and safe space for him to share his story.
Yes.
So I'm very humbled that people have heard it for the first time here.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that. So, and I'm looking forward to seeing the book and the documentary. Now,
you are literally, I want to say the 13th person. You need to write a book. Look. Talking is my gift. Now, if I
all you can do, all you do is talk it into an op like Otter, and someone can do the.
I was gonna say if I can talk a whole book, guess what? I'll talk it to completion.
No
we'll make it work.
Difficulty.
But if I have to write a book, it's never.
No, you same here. Look, no. The only time I pen is when I sign a contract, nothing else. All right. And typing things out, if it has to do with fathers in my show, I'm great. Anything else, forget it. But that's a whole other conversation. Let me ask you, what did you want to be when you were growing up?
I think I had the same foolish childhood dream. I wanted to be an NFL player, and then an NFL football player. And then after I realized that my size and speed was good, but not NFL good, I changed it to medicine. So I wanted to be a surgeon.
Okay.
And then I wanted to be a nurse. And then I wanted to do sports medicine. Like I've had a thousand. Currently, I'm in school to get my degree in ministry as well as psychology. I want to be a therapist to deal with fathers and men.
Yes. Very much needed.
Mm-hmm.
Very much needed. What was the first job you had?
My very first job was Sears. I was a cashier at Sears.
How was that?
It was my high school job. So we had early dismissal for juniors and seniors who had the credits. So I would leave school at noon and I had to report to work directly from school. But we had to dress up for work. So we had to wear button-up ties.
Yes.
And slacks. So I had to get dressed at school and then get on the city bus to go to work. And then my mama bought me a car, so I drove the car to work. But it showed me what a professional switch looks like. I had never seen that before. So having to go from jeans and Jordans and loungewear to a tie and a button down that's ironed with the slacks, I had never seen that before. But it was good to see.
Nice. You said you didn't have a father. Did you have any mentors when you were growing up?
A few. I think if I'm going to be honest, a lot of the mentors I had were seasonal mentors. They served their purpose for that season.
Yeah.
And then they were gone. I think the only mentor I had, I currently still have, is my best friend's father.
Nice.
My best friend's name is Nelson. His dad has been the only father I've consistently seen in a child's life in my life. Nelson is 29. I'm 33, so he's like 29, 30, somewhere in there. And Nelson's dad has never turned his back, has never left, and has been his biggest cheerleader his whole life.
Nice.
And to see that gave me hope because I didn't have it at home. But I was able to live vicariously through my best friend. And his father to this day still calls me son. So son, beautiful. Welcome. When I got home, when I first came back to Milwaukee, he was the first face I saw. Son, welcome. What's going on? We got to eat. I got to cook for you. Okay, Dad. Okay, whatever. Got it. And he does it all the time. He writes me on like 9 different websites instead of just texting me. He just writes me on Instagram and then, son, I'm thinking about you. On Indeed, son, okay, Pops, I got it. I'm here. Call me. Just call me, Dad. I'm here. But all in all, he showed me that men can love sons.
It's beautiful. If you had an opportunity to say something to him right now, what would you tell him?
I would think I'm trying to say it without crying. Number one, but
it's all right. No, be yourself. It's all good.
Number one, it's thank you for truly giving me unconditional love as if I was yours, and you didn't have to. You were the first example of a community dad I've ever seen, and because of that, I owe you, and I honor you by the way I raised my children.
That's wonderful. That's beautiful. Why did you go and serve for the country? And I'd say first of all, thank you for doing that. Even though we're in 2 different countries, thank you. Why did you do it? And what was your mother's reaction when you did that?
I can give you 2 answers, and they're both going to make you laugh ridiculously. Number one, I joined the army to spite my mother. My mother found out 48 hours before I left. I had signed the contract. I did everything at MEPS. I had my boot date. I had my day I was leaving. And I told her at the dinner table 2 days before I left. My boys threw me a goodbye party at some bar, at some club. It's like I was 17, so we couldn't really do much. But they threw me a goodbye party, and I was gone. My mama wrote me a heartfelt, I wish I could change your mind letter. I'll be praying for you letter. But me and my mother did not have a real relationship until I became a father. The moment I became a father, me and my mother got closer.
I wanna just stay at that for a moment. What thoughts would you like to share with men and dads out there that don't have a good relationship with their mother for whatever reason? Any because you have come out on the other side, so
Mm-hmm.
you felt their some of the pain that they're feeling.
Oh
What
yeah.
would you like to share with them?
Number one, grace is afforded regardless of our feelings. You have to give your mothers the grace to understand. Number one, my brother in my circle, JB, gave me a quote that I hold on to dear life. He said, "Brother, the moment I looked at my mother as a mental health patient and not as Superwoman, it changed everything for our relationship. Because I
Mm,
could see her for the help she needed and not for what she should have been for me." So give your mothers the grace to be human because they're still unpacking, they're still living through trauma, they're still trying to be better. And if we keep reminding them of how they failed, then you can't let go of that hurt as she's trying to grow past it.
mm,
Number two would be, especially if you grew up like me in a single mother household, realize she did the best that she knew to do. And I tell everybody, the reason I don't whoop my kids is because of my mama. The reason I don't do a lot of things in my parenting is because of what my mother did in our situation, and I want it to be different. So my mama taught me how to conscious parent by doing it backwards.
mm,
Take those lessons and apply them, but give her the grace to make up for it and not to remind her of the mishap she had.
mm. Wonderful. That's great. What did you learn about yourself serving for your country, if anything?
Nothing that I didn't already know, but if it was anything that stuck out was my immaturity level. And then it turned into my maturity level. I went in as a young 17 thinking I knew the world and then quickly realized, fool, you don't know nothing. Um, and when I tell you the Army put me in some situations to really have to deal with me, right? So I think at basic training at Fort Benning, Georgia, um, that was the first time I'd ever been called the N-word to my face by somebody who wasn't black. And I had to sit in that. And I had to like, wait, what just happened? Mind you, where I'm from, they'll call you that. They don't say it to your face. It's behind your back when you 2 blocks down the street. Um, he said it to, hey, what's up? I was like, oh, wait, what? What'd you just say? And he said it again. I think the only saving grace in that moment was that my drill sergeant was right there, and old buddy who said it was out of the Army 10 days later. He got kicked out. Because they don't play disrespect. But I had to then start to work on my anger. I had to then start to work on who Josh is at his core. And I had to learn coping mechanisms. I had to learn how to maneuver spaces that you're not wanted in. I had to learn a lot because of the Army. So if anything, it showed me my immaturity, but it caused me to mature quicker.
Okay. Good stuff. So coming back from the army, and you shared it with us earlier, you went through a number of different things. Um, how did you meet your bride?
Well, we're high school classmates. So I met her before the Army. And I had a crush on her at the age of 13, 14. Um, but at that time, she was into older guys, and I was not her stilo. I already knew it. She was a track star. I was a football player. It just wasn't going to work. Um, and we often tell the story that had we tried it back then, we would have ruined what God was trying to do now. So I admired her from a distance as I still worked on me.
Right on.
And then as I got out the Army and I was in Texas in ministry, and I said, God, where's my wife? Like, I need a wife. I need somebody who's sent from you for me. And like I said, I went on Instagram and all I saw was her picture like 10 times. I was like, wait, this is weird. My Instagram must be bugging out. I refreshed the page and here's 4 more people. I was like, okay, guys, this ain't just Instagram. This okay. I reach out on Instagram and my wife curves me. My wife does not respond. She doesn't do anything. So I said, God, what's up? Well, like, what's next? And then God said, go to Facebook. I said, go to Facebook? What? I was already her friend on Facebook from school. I write her on Facebook, and that's where she responded back. We started talking through Facebook and ended up going on our first date. And now, 3 years later, we're here.
How did you propose?
My original plan was something small and intimate. I wanted to get a restaurant, and I wanted to pack it full of people she knew, dim the lights so she couldn't see who anybody was around us, and propose. My wife's idea for proposal was I wanted loud in public because my wife in her past life was used to being in the sidelines. So men didn't publicly post her, they didn't publicly praise her. If you go to my Instagram or Facebook, she everywhere. Why? Not because I have to, because I need my wife to know she's seen. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do it your way. So I had her girls set up a New Year's Eve event at this local bar. It was a mix and play. We don't really drink, so we ate. I don't drink, but we ate, and I had that ring in my back pocket the whole night. As soon as he did the countdown for Happy New Year, I was on my knees.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Now, another thing that you can share with a lot of dads, you have bonus babies.
Yes, I have 2 bonus babies.
Tell how did you initially handle that? Was that something you were quick for? Because a lot of men aren't.
Mm-hmm. I'm blessed in the aspect that when it comes to the core of me and my checklist for who my partner looked like, having kids was on my list.
Wonderful.
I wanted a mother because number one, if you're a mother, you come with certain skills that single women may not have. Single with no kids women may not have. My wife didn't get the cooking gene. She's okay. I'm the cook, so that's my thing. I'm okay with that. But my wife has a nurturing spirit of her that is unmatched. And I knew for the man that is who I am right now, I need my partner to be nurturing to calm the grizzly bear that's inside me. So I said, I need a mother. I need a boss. I'm tired of having women around that I pay all the bills for, and they don't appreciate. I need a boss. I need somebody who makes her own. I need a woman who knows God. I don't care how strong the relationship is. We'll get there, but I just need you to know he exists. And a few other things. And so when I met her children, I had to intentionally date her children. I tell anybody.
Where did you get that mindset from?
So I was sitting down one day and I said, look here, if I'm going to date the mother, what sense does it make to not date the kids? Because I can't come here and say, I got your mama heart and now you stuck with me. No, that's not how that works. You have to know them. Her kids fell in love with me first before she did.
A great testimonial.
So you have to date the children with the same intensity that you date the women or men that you're going after. Because understand their heart is just trifold. It's the kids, it's them, and then it's whatever they believe in, God, whatever. Their heart is going to be cut into many pieces. But the same that part that's meant out for the kids, you'll never get if you don't fall in love with these kids. You have to date. You have to learn love languages. I can tell you all my kids' love languages. I can tell you how they receive it, how they show it. I can tell you all that because I did the work to know. So you have to date the children intently. I dated her kid, and she was skeptical of it at first. Let's be honest. It was I don't want this weird man dating my kids. But like I told her, if you're gonna ever trust me with your heart, you have to let me teach them to trust me with theirs.
Wonderful.
So like I said, her son fell in love like 30 days later. He was in it. You mine? Okay, cool, whatever. Her daughter has had a relationship with her father before he disappeared. And mind you, he's in the same city. He just doesn't come around. So she put up a fight. Thank you, Miss Deborah. I appreciate it. She put up a fight because she felt like she was slighting her father by letting me in. Okay. And I've even reached out to her father and said, hey man, I'll pay for the basketball, the Bucks game tickets. Let's go to a local basketball game. She wants to go. let her see Giannis, let her see the basketball game, and let her see both of her dads coexisting so that she doesn't have to do the work of trying to know if this is okay. Let
Right.
us show her it's okay. He wouldn't go. He wouldn't come. It's cool. I get it. But because of his absence, we've grown closer because she's starting to get to that age where she's realizing that your words are just that. Your words aren't carrying weight because your actions are behind it. Because the man in my house, his actions follow his words.
Mm.
So my bonus daughter is probably the most protective of me in this house.
Wow.
She don't play about daddy. She don't. She don't play. It was this morning I was cooking. Her mama kept smacking me in the butt. I was like, stop touching my butt. And here comes, don't touch my daddy. And then she don't play.
She got your back, baby.
She don't play about her daddy. So you got to just let her have it. So, our bond is amazing. Her brother is my twin. So my second bonus baby's 4. And he's the one who never really had a relationship with his father. So I was daddy. And it was just, that's what it is. And he mimics everything I do. So he causes me to be truly intentional with the words and the actions I show because I know he's watching. Mm-hmm. If I open the door for the girls, Daddy, I got it, and he gonna open the door for the girls. If I'm getting groceries and I got it, Daddy. He's mimicking every step of the way. Mm-hmm. So my bonus babies are truly my kids, and there is no way around it.
That's wonderful. It sounds like that young man that duplicates you. That's one of the things I say. A lot of times the young people emulate what they replicate.
Yes.
Very true. When did you notice that helping fathers and men would be part of your journey?
A lot of stuff that you're going to ask me, you're going to realize my wife called out. If you heard the live where I was talking about sitting on your gift and not using it.
Yep.
That was me.
Yeah, well, you know what? I say your gift will take you where your character will fail you.
I've always been able to connect with people rather quickly. I've always been able to convey my message correctly. I've always been able to talk about God fluidly without a problem. I've always had these gifts. I never used them. Brother Melvin, I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. I think it took my wife to hear me. What are we doing? I was at church, and my wife will also often say she's a baby in this thing of Christianity, and I'm a grown man. And I'm like, baby, no, I've just been doing this. I've been doing this a little longer.
I disagree with what you were saying there too.
Yeah, I'm like, no, baby, I just have more practice as you do this more. But so we were in church, and she was asking me about a scripture that pastor was talking about. And I broke it down from the context of what I understood it as. And as I'm saying it, my pastor was saying it too. And she said, baby, is there something you want to tell me? I said, what? She said, you just said this the same exact way our pastor did. Did you used to preach or something? Mind you, I had never told my wife. Me and my wife never had this conversation.
Oh.
Okay. We were engaged before she knew I preached.
Wow.
And or in my past life I ministered. I don't like using the word preached.
Yes.
I'm a minister. My job is to give you what the Lord says, and then I drop it right there. I'm not a pastor. I give you what God says. I keep it moving. But I was like, yeah, I dibbled and dabbled, and I did a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And she laughed, like, no, you're not telling me the whole story. I want to talk to TJ, which is the guy who I preach with, my brother. I said, okay, so I called TJ, and TJ runs her oh yeah, you got a powerful. I said, TJ, stop, don't. I don't want her to know any of, and it's not like I was keeping it from her, right? For me, I want you to get your understanding of God like I got my own. I was always raised in a school of thought that you can't get to heaven on grandmama's faith. You got to build your own. And I don't want you to weigh on mine heavily as if you can't build the same understanding I have. So I was like, nah, I don't want her to know this, but TJ told her anyway. So my wife was like, well, baby, why don't you preach now? I said, look here, baby. I'm a member of a church. That is my title. I don't do nothing extra. I'm not preaching. And I hadn't joined her church yet. So this is her pastor. I had moved from Texas and I did not have a church home at the time. My church home that they wanted me to come back to, I wasn't spiritually fed at, if that makes sense. So I was still looking to be fed elsewhere. And then she said, so her pastor and me end up linking on a different level. So he's not my pastor. He's also not my spiritual teacher. He does a lot of the work with me, as far as preparing myself for ministry again. And so my wife was like, you need to get back into it. I was like, okay, cool. So then that's the birth of the minister side. And then it's, oh, we about to have our fifth baby, right? Baby Love was coming and she was coming quick. And out of all my babies, this is the first baby I was able to be here from start to finish for the birthing process. And I had a lot of questions, And there's a term called emotional labor. And that's when you give somebody a lot of emotional work to carry during a process that they just don't want to do it. My wife is pregnant, and I'm asking 1,000 questions about pregnancy and how I can help. So obviously she got irritated and agitated. So then I have a doula by the name of Leanne. Leanne, I love you. You know that. Leanne took me under her wing and said, let me teach you what I know so you can become a resource. Cool. I'll take it. So then that was the groundwork for Daddy Doula. And then working with men as far as Dad Connect and Melanated Daddy, same story, just different scenario. I was walking through the scenarios of bonus parenthood, and you can Google it. There was not a single manual for how to be a Black bonus dad. Not a one. So I kept complaining to my wife, and I'm like, baby, this don't make sense. I can't find a single book on how to do this. You can find all kind of stupid stuff for idiots 101. Like, where is my book? I need a book. My wife and Leanne both laughed and looked at me and said, guess what? You are now the resource for that too. So you will now be the voice for bonus dad so that other men behind you don't have to stress out trying to find a resource. You are the resource. So all in all three of these instances I just told you have all been pointed towards men because that's just where my talents lead me to.
That's beautiful. I'm a firm believer of find the need and fill it. Don't find the need and kill it.
Mm-hmm.
So you saw the need and you're filling it. Tell us a little bit about Daddy Doula.
So Daddy Doula is my baby. It's it's showing out to be a bigger blessing than I thought it would be, honestly. But what Daddy Doula is here to do is to sharpen and prepare the non-birthing parent, i.e. the dads, or if you are of a different sexual orientation, I don't discriminate. Dad Doula is all about preparing you to be a father, but doing it in the aspects of supporting the mother, right? So as a father, my main job during pregnancy was to ensure my wife was taken care of. Like, I got to make sure you're eating, you're getting enough rest, you're drinking enough water, you're taking these prenatals and so forth. And the list goes on and on of just doing the work. And I learned that in that process, intentionality is key when getting ready for a baby. You have to be very attentive, but very intentional. And being able to realize that during this process, yes, you are a part of the process, but she's carrying the load. So we got to lighten it a little bit. So Daddy Doula teaches fathers how to be advocates for the mothers of their babies, how to be present, and how to be intentional. And then I go through all three trimesters, 1, 2, and 3, and then as well as the fourth trimester, because baby's here, and you still need an outlet and a resource to say, bro, what do I do? I got you. So Daddy Doula just tends to the non-birthing parent and gives them the tools to not just be fathers, but how to be advocates of their queens as they're going through their birthing process.
That's wonderful. Let me ask, from the time you thought about this, through all the pushing from the two ladies, what was the time from the initial thought of this till it becoming a reality?
Baby Love is 5 months, so about 6 months.
Wow.
I did the research during the pregnancy, so I already had the blueprint. What I didn't have was the drive to make it a thing. I lived the blueprint. I was taught the blueprint. I knew what I went through. And all I needed at that point was the doula to say, Josh, you got what you need. What's up? Not ready yet. Baby Love got here. And everyone's like, hey, man, how are you doing this? And I was like, well, it's easy. And I realized that the stuff I went through prepared me for this. So about 6 months of sitting down and saying, okay, Josh, what we finna do? Because either you're going to do it or you're not. And if you don't, God going to give it to somebody else. So what we doing? And so I made it happen.
So share a success that you've had, either directly or indirectly, through Daddy Doula.
Well, so Daddy Doula is multifaceted because it deals with not just fathers who are expecting, but fathers trying to get back into the lives of their children. Those who may have pulled themselves out due to whatever reason and are finding it really hard or intimidating to approach their children and saying, I fouled up, I'm back. Let me rebuild this bridge. I was in a clubhouse room the other day, true story, can't make this up, and a young lady pulled me into a private room while I was on stage, dropping knowledge about fatherhood, girl dads, just dropping knowledge and dropping gems. And she pulled me into a private room and said, I don't know who you are, you don't know me. I said, yes, ma'am. The Spirit told me that you have a word for me and my man about our relationship. The Spirit told you what? She said, I'm sorry. If I'm wrong, just tell me I'm wrong. But I want to get in a Zoom meeting with you so that you can sharpen us. Mind you, my radar going crazy because I used to do that often, right? Because that's what I did. But now I'm done. Like, I'm out of that. So
Yeah.
I sat back and I said, I got to go pick up my baby from dance class. Give me 30 minutes to mow this over, and I'll send you a link. I will send you a link, and if I don't send the link, that means I can't do it. Okay, cool.
That's fair.
So I'm driving to get my baby, and I promise y'all, God talks to me in multiple ways, but number one is music. So when I'm in my car, I don't listen to radios. My iPhone is my music.
Right.
So I put my Apple Music on shuffle, and you put whatever comes up, just comes up. And the whole ride there was gospel songs. And it's stuff edifying me, like, you got to do this work. So what we finna do? Okay. I get home, I tuck my baby into bed after dance class. I create the link and I send it out. I'm like, God, it's late. If they don't answer, they don't answer. Within 32 seconds, bling, bling. I was like, oh, okay, they're here.
They're waiting for you.
Okay, we got to do it. And that session was healthy and it was beautiful because it wasn't just Daddy Doula or Melanated Daddy. Melanated Mama got in and she dropped knowledge too. And it's our ministry. It's our gift to impart to people. And it was such a beautiful moment. But it was in a room about girl dads where I was plugging Daddy Doula that this came about.
Beautiful.
So that's probably the biggest win. I have clients now who are reaching out as we speak. Hey, man, I need your help in the fourth trimester. So I'm getting those contracts and those paperworks out and into fruition and into rotation, I should say. But that was something that was like you're where you need to be type of situation.
Absolutely. Yeah. You foresight. Sometimes it's not your voice just speaks, but God is speaking through you.
Amen to that. Now, my prayer before I spoke was, God, let them see less of me and more of you. It's not about me. I tell everybody, even when I'm preaching, I'm a vessel. Don't put me on no pedestal. I'm flawed. I sin. I'm not perfect. I cuss sometimes. Understand I'm a man. But when I speak on this pulpit, God, don't let them see me. Let them see you.
Received. Received. During your journey as a father,
Mm-hmm.
is there anything you wish you have done different so far?
I would love to say yes, but the true answer is no. And the reason that is because even through my flaws in fatherhood, and much love to you, my brother, and respect to you as well. As much as I would love to sit here and say the mistakes I've made and the flaws I've made, I would love to take back. I did those in front of my children and I repaired them with my children. So I was able to show them that even as an adult, you're not perfect, but I'm here trying, and I will always be here to try. So I would love to say, no, no. Every mistake I made was a moment for us to get closer, and was a moment for us to build that bond that we have now. So, nah, everything happened for a reason.
Compare our young fathers of today when you were a young father. Do they have it more challenging, you think, than when you became a young father?
It depends on how they become a young father. Let me say this. I didn't choose the route of anything, but I became a young father who became a baby daddy. And in that process, it was a little different and a little harder because I didn't have a relationship with the mother of my child until my daughter turned 6. Meaning we didn't have conversations unless it was about the kids. We didn't talk about nothing other than my daughter. And I had time with my daughter on FaceTime. I'd go see her, whatever the case may be. But I made that process harder by the way I stood my ground unnecessarily, right? And I had to atone for it later on in life. I had to let the mother of my child know, like, look, I know I made mistakes. My bad. Like, I didn't mean no harm. I was going off of a misconception. I was wrong. I'm sorry. And she forgave me. And because she forgave me, we now have a blended family that is dope. She buys all my baby stuff. When she has her next baby, we're going to buy all that baby stuff. That's just the relationship we have now. So with the answer to your question is, how did you become a father? Exactly. By having you by their side, every moment counts. Exactly. Hands down. Intentional presence is a thing. And if you don't have it, then you're failing your children in a different kind of emotional aspect that you don't understand. But fathers who are dealing with I hate the term baby mama, Dr.
I don't use it.
I despise it.
No, I don't use it. I don't use it.
If you're dealing in a fatherhood situation where community is not at heart, let's go that way, where it's two people divided instead of two people on one accord, yes, it's hard. But I charge every man to do the work of soul searching to see what role you played in that divide.
Yep.
I had to do the work to say, okay, I fouled up here, here, and here. Let me atone for that. I'm not saying say sorry. No, you atone. There's a difference. Atoning is I know the hurt I caused. What can I do to fix it? I'm sorry is just a word. I atone. For I did, and be specific. I atone for my actions. I atone for my miscommunication. I atone for listening to other people outside of us. What can I do to make this unit strong again? And I promise you, the moment you do that and you're honest about it and you're real about it, because people can sense sincerity. When you're real about it, it changes though. I promise you, I had a 30-minute conversation and the dynamic of my relationship with the mother of my child changed 360 overnight. She texted my wife. She called me. We sent her pictures of the babies. We FaceTime. It is weird, but it's beautiful. And it's only weird because it's not normal. It's not the norm of what people will tell you it could be. It's beautiful. So if you're in a situation where you guys are not married, you guys are not doing this together, yes, it's harder.
Yeah.
It's very much harder because you're not just caring for a child anymore. You legitimately have to care for the mother as well. Because if the mother of the child is not okay, guess what? Your child is not. She's not okay. So you're adding an extra element of dynamic into it that you probably didn't plan for. But when you do this thing with someone who you're committed to, you send your brothers my way and we can talk all day, my brother. I do this work. I meet Dr. Rogers heard me say,
yeah,
I truly do this work. This is my calling. I have a 9-to-5 to support my family. I get a retirement check from the Army to support my family. This work I'm doing here is a passion. It's
Same
not
here.
work. It's
Same
not
here.
work.
No, it isn't. It isn't. And I will say, anyone who wants to reach out to him, hey, I'd love you to come to me, but hey, he is just as good, if not better.
Nah, you go to Dr. Vibe. If Dr. Vibe is busy.
No. You know what? No, something tells me that we are going to do something together in the near future. A number of us.
I receive that. I manifest that. I'm okay with that.
And offline, I will definitely share some of the resources from my dad's central site that I'm part of to the Melanated Daddy, and definitely see if I can get him on some of those conversations.
I'm all for it wholeheartedly. Um, I often see social media playing a role when two people break up. They go straight to. So here's the thing, right? Social media is only what you make it, right? Me and my wife have a rule in our house, and it's very funny because we came to this rule through drama, but we don't run the social media with our issues. We have what we call naked talks, where you come into me, I come to you, and we address this thing when we're ready to have an adult conversation. I am very petty at moments. I'll give it. My wife is very petty at moments. She'll give it. So we go to our cool down spaces, as we call it. I go to the man cave. I cut on the PlayStation, and I do what I do. My wife will go doodle or draw. She's an artist, so she does that. That picture behind me is her drawing. So my wife's an artist. She does that. And we cool down, and then we come back and we talk about it. And we don't post about it. We don't go to social media about it. We talk about it. Why? Because here's the thing, the more people you let into your situation, good, bad, or indifferent, is the more people who now feel invested in something that has nothing to do with them.
Fully agree on that.
Versus you coming to me who has to do this work with you, and we fix this together, and then we let it go together. No one else has to know it was an issue. And don't
Straight
get me
talk.
wrong, we do
Straight talk.
polls.
Straight
We
talk.
do polls. We do other stuff that we may post on social. Hey y'all, how many of y'all text your girl 13 times a day? That's a joking thing. When it comes to real serious stuff, for him, that's in house. I'll call one of the brothers and say, hey bro, I need you to come in here and mediate because it's finna get hairy, and they come right over. But that's in house. We're not doing that on social media.
Exactly.
But yeah, like you said, no, my wife is my biggest protector next to my daughter. So you can't down either one of us in front of each other. No, not a thing. But yeah, back to the fatherhood. Yeah, so I got lucky to that I was able to manifest my baby being born in a house that was mine with a woman who is my partner, and I'm her partner, and then we're doing this work together, and it was easy. The hardest part is now that she's here, finding space to give each other time to not be a parent, right? Because being a parent is a 365 job, yes, but sometimes I just want to be Josh, not daddy. And sometimes she wants to be Symphony, not mama.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to give each other that space. So every weekend on Saturdays, I give her 3 hours to go run her stuff. Go
Good
do what you got
stuff.
to do. Go
Good
be
stuff.
Symphony.
Yep.
See, my thing is my kids are my safe haven, so I don't need a break from them. I'd much rather take a break from work than a break from them. But
Absolutely.
I give my wife that time. Go be Symphony, please. Go get with your girls. Go get my ties and go do what y'all do. I got my kids all day, every day.
Mm.
But that's probably the biggest struggle in parenthood now is just being able to allow her the time to be not mama.
True.
But other than that, I'm blessed to be able to say this parenting thing is easy.
Mm.
It's easy.
What was one of the hardest times you had being a father, and why was it hard?
I laugh at it now. I didn't laugh then. Baby love, my baby is a crybaby. She's a daddy's girl, which means the moment I don't touch her, she goes off the chain. I've never seen somebody so small yell so loud in my life. I should go get her, but she's asleep right now, and I don't want to wake up, so we're not doing that. But baby love, the way she looks at me, she pierces my soul with her eyes. It's a whole different connection. And don't get me wrong, all my kids can do it, but she has done it from the time she came out the womb till now. She recognized, and I talk to the baby, the belly every day, but she knows daddy. Daddy walks, she knows my truck with the pool, and she starts to jump. And she's 5 months, right? But it was a specific night when I couldn't get her to breastfeed. My daughter is a specifically breastfed baby. So when it's time to introduce the bottle, she didn't want no parts of that. Like, I know what I suck on. I don't want this. I want what I want. And I had to, and the mother can't initiate the bottle because the baby already knows you have breast. I want that. So it's either the father or somebody who doesn't have milk who has to initiate the first feeding.
Yep.
And when I tell you she gave me hell, Dr. Vibe, My baby hit a soprano note and she screamed that note for 35 minutes, just screaming my head off.
Oh,
Because
wow.
and it was my fault because I had one of those small even flow bottles that you turn the bottle to adjust the flow.
Right.
I didn't turn the bottle, so nothing was coming out. And she was mad, like, dude, I'm hungry. Give me something. So by the time I was able to figure out, I was already flustered. I'm almost at tears. So a thing about me, Daddy Doula is a thing also because I deal with anxiety over my daughter crying. Every time she cries, I have to run to stop her. Like, what's wrong, baby? Why are you crying? What I got to do? And I had to realize that that's normal, number one. But number two, that's my job as a father. It's a response. She's crying for a reason. Let's figure out why. But it gave me immense anxiety in the beginning when she cried because I felt like I was failing her. I can't get you to stop crying. I hate this. What am I doing? I gave her to my wife. I went to the cave, and I think I stayed down there for like 2.5 hours. Just so
Wow.
that I could deal with that emotion and give it a name. Because I was so mad, Dr. Vibe, you would have thought my baby did something like a crime. I was hot. And what you're doing what babies do, it's your job. So my wife said, go collect yourself. We'll talk about it. I went down there for 2.5. I think I came back upstairs like midnight. And my wife was knocked out with the baby. And I went ahead and got in my little side spot in the bed and went to bed. Yes, sir. Like, I'm gonna change it a little bit. It's important to know how much a man's role is in his kid's life. I don't care the race of the man. Just do the job. You can be a white man, a Puerto Rican man, a black man, an Indian man, a man. Just do the job because you create a void when you don't. And then somebody else has to help them figure out why they have this void instead of us solidifying them so they don't have a void at all. Right. But back to the story. So I had to I had to regroup. And the next morning we talked, and she's like, "What happened?" I was like, I felt inadequate in that moment. What do you mean? I felt like I was not good enough to keep my child from crying because all she wanted was the breast, and I ain't got no milk. And my wife laughs at that. I hear you. That's adequate. I completely get it. Thank you for mulling over your thoughts. My wife is my safe space, so I can talk about anything and not be judged. And my wife was like, I received that. Thank you. She's like, so what do you need from me? I said, I don't know. Maybe it's too soon to bottle feed. I don't know. The next night, Dr. Vibe. So that night after we had this talk, I gave my baby the bottle after turning the nozzle, and she drank it like a champ and looked at me the whole time smiling.
Wow.
It was intense in the moment, but looking back on it, my baby was hungry and I couldn't give her the milk. It just happened, right? If I had my father by my side, there would have been a lot of things I would not. True, but I also want you to. I also don't want you to hold on to the victim mind frame. I'm talking to Josh right now, okay? I'm talking to you, and I'm talking to Josh. I held on to the victim mind frame for way too long. Well, my mama did this, and your parents did the best they could do, or didn't do the best they could do. That's it. Now, as adults, it's our job to unpack, unlearn, and be different for those after
Yeah.
us. So, yes, your daddy wasn't there. I atone for the lack of presence that man left and the void that man left. Yes. Living that is validation. Yes, you are right. But now what?
Hey, as I say to people, you either let go or you be dragged.
The loss of that person is there. They were not there. Yes, you are very true. But now we got to move forward. Not for them, but for you.
Yeah.
Because you are holding yourself back, holding on to any kind of pain that is left from that situation. So I urge you, if Dr. Vibe can't help you, reach out to me. If I can't help you, get you some therapy and figure out the next steps for you so that you can let that go. It's not healthy for you to hold on to pain, especially pain you didn't cause. Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah, because not only are you counting on you for sight, other people are counting on you.
Yes.
So it's very, very important. Every man and father out there, there's someone who's counting on you.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
It could be children. It could be significant other, could be your workplace, could be
Mhm.
someone in your community. And when I say counting on you, even simple things like I went out for a walk today and I went by my neighbor and I said hello. What would have happened if I didn't? And I've known this lady for 30 years.
Mhm.
She's counting on me to greet her. She lost her husband 3 years ago. Right?
Man.
Like, yeah, and she's such a giver. Last summer, she was cleaning out her house and she gave me a picture of myself and one of her sons when we were growing up together.
Mm. Mm. Now, imagine if you weren't here in this season to fill the void in her life that you are, how alone she would be.
Exactly.
But you have to be emotionally and mentally there
Yes.
in order to do that work for somebody
Yes.
else.
Yes.
I had a podcast where I said, how can you be 100% for somebody else when you're only 30% for yourself?
Exactly.
You got to do the work to keep your cup full and to put yourself in situations with brothers and sisters who sharpen and edify you. Dr. Vibe edifies me often. Hey, brother, I love you. Stop talking like that. Gotcha. Yes, sir. I hear it.
Yeah.
Or Matt or DJ or the fatherhood. Like, we do this thing because we have to. Community is necessary to do the work that we're doing.
It's not necessary. It's imperative.
It's imperative. Because we all have different missions on different levels, but together as a united front, we can touch everybody. My boy Antonio, I love you, my brother. Thank you for coming by. Oh, I need you on the live later, but we'll talk later. I got
you. Oh my goodness. So we're gonna start winding it down because I know you did one earlier on, but
this is my passion. So this is not work. I can do this all day.
No problem. Let me ask you 3 happiest moments in your life to date.
The moment I became a father for the 5th time. My wedding day. In no particular order. Let me put that in there.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. I do hear someone in the background, okay?
In no particular order. Becoming a father to baby love, my wedding day, and the moment I realized my purpose and my passion.
Wonderful. That is. What do you hear of some of the common challenges that fathers and men are coming to you with these days?
Blended family issues. I'm trying to teach my sons this, but they with their mama this amount of time and this, that, and the third. Men trying to re-enter a relationship after being void.
It's a big one. And I think one of the things I will just say before you say anything else, men, when you're getting into a relationship, you're not just getting into a relationship with the person, mm-hmm. You're getting into it with the family.
Yeah.
The family.
Mm-hmm. As men, we often forget to do our research.
Yeah.
We often forget to realize that if I lay down with you and I create something with you, I'm not just stuck with you for 18 years, but my daughter or son has to have a relationship with your family as well. So now I am now intertwined into this spider web of stuff with people I don't even know because of how I chose to do this, right? I will never say that my eldest is anything less than a blessing. I will say I wish I was more intentional and strategic in the way I made her. I'm a father and I'm blessed because of my children, but I could have saved her and myself a lot more stress, but if I did it correctly the first time. It's bigger than just zipping your pants and walking away. It's you when you make a baby, you literally have just created a covenant. And that's how I need fathers to think of this. I have now signed up to be in covenant with not just this woman and this baby, but the family that supports this woman and the communities that support this woman and this baby. If you think of it on a macro level, I am now signing up to deal with 70 extra people I had no idea I wanted to be around. And that's really how it is. So my mama calls my wife. My brother will text me to tell my wife things because he won't call nobody. He's weird. My uncles and aunts will call me to talk to my wife, and my wife is like, "I just married you." No, you didn't. You married everybody.
Yep, exactly.
And it's that simple. When I married my wife, I married her sister. I married my nephews and nieces because they are looking for me to be something for them too.
Yep. Yeah, because they have known her longer than you have.
Yes, they have.
and they don't want to get their girl hurt. No way.
Mm-hmm.
No way that gonna happen. No way.
But they also understand who I am in the role of my marriage.
Yes.
So my wife and my kids see a teddy bear. Everybody else, until you get in, meets the grizzly bear. And it's two different things, right? My wife has earned the pleasure of being to know, has earned the pleasure to know that she's secure in the house that we share.
And what
by any means
what does
necessary.
the mother or wife want? Security.
Yes.
Security.
If I brought my wife over here to tell y'all, she'll tell you I married my husband because he's huge and I feel secure. That's exactly why she married me. Oh, and I'm black. She likes my color.
3 for 3.
That's it. I like your color. You're huge, and I feel safe. That's exactly why she married me.
Nice.
So yeah,
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. What has the Clubhouse experience done for you professionally and personally?
Personally, it broadened the community in which I belong to. I have brothers in every city now, in every state now, who
and in different countries.
And in different countries now. You, as well as a couple other daddy bloggers out there, like if you ever come to Canada, I got you. But it widened my community, but bigger than that, personally, it gave me a space to know that I'm not alone.
I want you to stop right there, and we're going to go on this point. How important, or how many people don't realize there are men and fathers that are alone?
I know men and fathers who are married to women in thriving relationships who feel alone every day. Because we don't often, especially when you're in a relationship, you don't do a pulse check often. I have to force myself to daily check my wife's pulse, daily, because it was a time when I didn't, and this is before we got married. And my wife I was living in my apartment, she was living in her house, and we're texting and talking, and she's like, "Dude, I just want you to ask me how the F I am. ... I was like, we've been texting all day. What do you mean? I know how you are. You had a rough day at work. No, but just ask me. Check my pulse, please. Oh, okay. Well, how are you? And then the waterfall came with all the emotions of what she was holding on to because I hadn't checked the pulse. So now every day we get home from work, we kiss. How was work? Stop. How's your pulse?
Nice.
I'm good. How's your pulse, baby? Yeah, work was rough. I had a couple surgeries, but it's all right. I'm good. And then we go on with our conversation. A lot of men don't have a safe space to say my pulse is off. My pulse socks on my finger fell off a long time ago, and you forgot to find it. And part of that is unfair because we're putting expectations on our partners to be more sometimes than what they can be. But as a partner, my job is to encompass what you needed to encompass. Here's the thing, Melvin. We have to lose this mentality that emotions equal weakness. We have to lose this mentality that emotions equal less masculine. We have to lose these mentalities that emotions equal blah, blah, blah. What emotions equal is you're human. I need my brothers to understand you not showing emotions is why your kids are emotionally vague. You not showing emotions is why your relationship is emotionally vague. You not being emotional and being safe with the person that you say you love is why everything around you, when it comes to emotions, seem difficult. I can tell my wife right now, even though she's on the IG live, baby, I'm mad because my foot hurt. Oh, baby, what you need me to do? Nothing. I just want to get that off my chest. Okay. And we keep on moving because emotions are normal.
Yeah.
What's not normal is acting like you don't have them.
There's the key. There's a key. Whenever I'm doing sessions with men, the first thing I ask them is, how are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10?
Mm-hmm.
The first thing. And whatever number they give me, I say, why are you feeling like that?
Mm-hmm. And you've been in the room where it's, how's your cup? How's your
That's
cup?
what you ask. That's a trademark. You need to trademark that, my brother.
How's
I'm
your cup?
telling you. I'm
And,
telling
and, and,
you.
I, and I have to remind brothers all the time, I'm not just asking to ask. I actually care. How is your cup? If your cup is empty, you can't go out here and be daddy of the year. You can't. If your cup is empty, you can't be father of the day. You can't be daddy of the day. You can't be superhero of the moment because you're empty. You can't pour from. Here's an empty cup.
Yep.
Nothing's going to come out. But when you start to let people edify you and add water to that cup, now you can pour out. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's simple. You have to be able to be in tune with yourself first before you can ever be emotionally, spiritually, physically, anything for anybody else. And that's why we take the time to edify one another so that we can show up in our communities whole. So then I can pour out for you so you can do what you got to do.
As I say, one of the great questions I ask men and fathers, how's your heart?
Yeah.
And they'll tell me they haven't worked out and ran for a while. And then I say, oh, I ain't asking about that heart.
I have a cardio fitness. I said your heart. Yeah.
And then most of them will give me a screw face.
Mm-hmm.
Because no, you're not supposed to ask me that.
Not even that. Most people are never even in tune with themselves to know how they feel. Most men don't even have the vocabulary to put a name to the emotion. If it's anything I found out in this work, is I meet men who say, I feel off. Well, brother, we need more than off. So let's do some work to figure out what off means.
Yeah.
Because until you can name an emotion, you can't fix it.
Yeah.
I remember my wife had COVID, and she kept telling me, baby, I feel weird. I feel weird. I feel weird. I said, baby, I love you to life. You know I do. Weird is not a diagnosis or a prognosis. What do you feel? Weird, baby. I don't know. I feel, baby, we have to figure out more than weird. So give me symptoms. Give me something. My head is hurting. It's hard to breathe. Stop. Okay. We're going to the hospital. I already know what this is. I work in the hospital. I'm not playing this game with you. Let's go. We got to figure this out. She had COVID.
Wow.
So understand, until you can name a thing, or at least give me the symptoms and let me help you get there, I can't fix nothing. Mm. You can't fix something that you can't put a label on.
Yeah. Like I always say, there's the word intimacy, but I like to say into me see.
I see. Mm-hmm.
Into me see.
Mm-hmm.
So important. And one of the things this last year has shown me, and I'm sure Josh can agree, there's a lot of men that don't have that intimacy with themselves.
Mm-mm. But then wonder why they can't find intimacy with a partner. You can't give something you don't have, sir. That's why you can't find intimacy. Because intimacy ain't got nothing to do with sex. I tell you.
No.
I had a session with a young man. Man, my relationship is lacking intimacy. Okay. Well, tell me what's going on. Well, we only have sex every 3 days. Sir.
Oh, jeez.
I said, sir, tell me what's wrong.
First of all, you should congratulate him because that's way above average.
I said, sir, tell me what's wrong with the intimacy. Well, we ain't having enough sex. I said, sir, intimacy is
I wish
sex.
I could have heard that.
Intimacy is not sex. I said, when's the last time you gave her a massage? What's the last time you played music in Federal? Like, what is that? Well, what's that? Intimacy, sir. What? Until you learn what intimacy is for yourself, you can't require it from somebody else because you don't know what you're looking for.
Wow.
Sex is not intimacy, people. Sex is sex.
Make love outside of the bedroom.
My wife had a quote that blew my mind because so I'm different. I'm a different kind of guy. And not to get into sex, but I'm a different kind of guy. I made my wife show me what she wanted physically from me. I took a course. I took notes. I still have the notebook with the notes in it, Dr. Ryan. I took notes. Like, oh, so you want, okay, I got that. I can do that. Okay, yeah. I took notes. But what I also did, while getting back to intimacy, was I figured out that my wife's sexual intimacy starts in her mind first.
Absolute. And it does for many ladies, it does.
If I can engage my wife's mind, I ain't got to do no work for the body. It does it for me. I ain't got to do nothing. So every morning she gets that good morning. Even though we live together, she's in here alive right now. Every morning, babe, I love you. Have a great day at work. Blah blah blah. I'm starting the mind early in the morning. By lunchtime, it's, babe, how's your day? I would really love to just give you a massage when we get home. If that's okay. What? Of course that's okay, baby. Okay, cool. By the time I get home, it's like, yo, I don't even want the massage no more. So what's up? Okay. Because I understand how to play. I understand how to give my wife what she needs.
So you said a very important word, understanding.
Yes.
Understanding doesn't mean you agree all the time, but you understand.
I need people to understand. Me and my wife disagree twice a day. Sometimes 3 times a day. But I disagree. Us disagreeing is healthy because I have to learn a different viewpoint, and so does she. But second than that, disagreement doesn't mean an argument. Disagreement means I don't see it your way. Help me see it, or we just say we agree to disagree. We keep on moving.
Absolutely. Because we look at the bigger picture.
Of course,
to the bigger picture. There's a bigger,
especially when you've done something that equals a lifelong benefit. You are mine for life. I am yours for life. I'm not arguing with you over what we're eating for dinner tonight. We can eat cereal and be okay. What's up? Pick your battles, people. Pick the battles.
Yeah. If it ain't worth your time, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It ain't worth it. My brother, I'm going to let it wind down here. I have one last conversation piece.
Okay.
When it comes to dads, what is your, it's a multi-layered question. What is your message to women first when it comes to dads? And these are women that are not married, let's put it that way, or not in a relationship.
So women who are wanting to be mothers, in other words.
Yes.
Number one, and the biggest advice I can give to any woman who is contemplating this thing called parenthood. Number one, choose wisely. Because who you lay down with is who you have to be stuck with. A lot of people in our generation, in our day and age, look at things that are material or physical and completely erase the mental and the spiritual out of the equation. When I met my wife, I did the work to figure out all 4 areas before I ever said we were dating. Let me say that again. I made sure to do research on all 4 areas of her mental, her spiritual, her physical, and her emotional before we ever said we are physically dating. I need to know that I know what it looks like to be in a relationship with somebody who carries this, and this. Because unfortunately, I play for keeps. I'm too old to play the game. So it's like either we gonna do this thing for life or we just not gonna do it. Right? So number one, be careful and be intentional on who you choose, but please also make sure that you have those hard conversations before you lay down with somebody. We had a credit talk before we ever had sex. We had a religion talk before we had sex. We had what's your credit score? Do you want to own a business? What's your 10-year goal? We had all these talks before we ever got intimate with one another. Because you are bigger than your body. I am bigger than my body. I need to know what you fully encompass look like. So be strategic, be encouraged to do it, but bigger than that, understand that who you choose is a lifetime situation.
Wonderful.
Don't let temporary feel good lead you into a lifetime of feel bad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What is your message for the mothers out there?
Fatherhood does not equal bio by itself. Meaning, I am a bigger presence as a father in my kids' life than their bio dad is. I'm a bigger presence in kids' lives that are attached to my children than their dads are. I have kids who listen to me over their own fathers because they understand when a real father comes into the space, what happens. So understand that even if you are a mother and if the relationship failed or he just wasn't a good dad, there's still hope out here that your child can have a father. Community fatherhood is a thing. I'm a whole community daddy. I got kids who call me Baba who I have never made and never had to worry about doing any of that with. But because you needed me to be a presence, I'm a presence. And it's just that simple.
For the men out there who want to be fathers,
before you become a father, do the work. What does that mean, Josh? I'm happy you asked. Please unpack your trauma so you don't pass this trauma to your babies. Please unpack your biases so you can understand how your biases are affecting your parenting. Please, please, please learn how to be in community before you make a baby. Because it takes a village to raise a child is not just an African proverb, it's facts. And the biggest part of that is you have to be a part of that community in order for your children to thrive in it. Because if you're going to have your children be affected by the community, you also have to be affecting the community positively. So please do the work.
And finally, your message to all the fathers and dads out there.
Understand how important your presence, your intentional presence is. Understand that learning your children's love languages will make your parenting with these children soar. Understand that they are not to be bossed around. They are who they are meant to be by God. We are just guides. And understand that they didn't ask to be here. So please be the first loves of all your children. Simple.
My brother,
My brother.
This was epic. As I say, I'm the home of epic conversations, and also Melvin Lars says this has been great. In your words, Dr. Vibe, epic.
Melvin, we appreciate you tuning in, my brother. Thank you.
Long time following. He does a lot of work with young men in Louisiana. So he has a long.
I was at Fort Polk for training before deployment. So yeah.
There you go. Joshua has given it, and he always does, because he cares and he knows that it's bigger than him, and he's on a mission. Him and I are glad to be part of the same mission. If you want to get in touch with him, if you're watching this here on Instagram, he's Melanated Daddy. He's also on Facebook, Melanated Daddy.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
yeah. It's he's got the brand, the Dad Doula Sessions. Just look up Dad Doula Sessions online. You'll get all the information, and then go ahead.
You can just write me on Instagram. I'll send you the flyer. It's easier.
There you go. And then finally, the Life with Zawadi podcast, which is kicked off recently, which is going to be epic. It's rocking. It is rocking in the house.
We're on episode 5 now. It posted today, so go ahead and tune in.
All right, it's just to say it has been a true blessing for my path to run into your path, and I'm looking forward to us changing men and fathers, one at a time.
Changing the narrative. That's our goal.
Changing and controlling.
Yes. Yes.
Changing is one thing.
I am tired of hearing about fathers not showing up.
Yeah.
And I don't even care about Melanated Daddy is targeted at my brothers who look like this, but fatherhood as a whole is a gem, and I'm tired. I'm tired of hearing men take this gem for granted.
Yeah.
So, fellas, let's do the work. Let's do the work. Let's repair our communities from the inside out, and let's get back to raising carefree children who don't have to carry our trauma or the trauma that was passed down from our big mama and them. Let's do the work. Just do the work.
Received. All right, folks. That's the end of another epic conversation. I'm Dr. Vibe here, the host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of epic conversations. I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2020 Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. Also, the host of the only podcast in the world that is for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Care. It's also co-sponsored by Dad Central Canada's National Fatherhood Organization. I also would like to say that I'm the board chair for the Global Food and Drink Initiative. So if you want to find out about that, just go to the website, Global Food and Drink Initiative, or gfdi.com or org, and you'll get all the information there. I'd like to say some thank yous to some people who stuck it out for this epic conversation tonight. Melvin Lars, thank you very much. You for Sight, Antonio. We also had Deborah L. Mills, DJ Durrell, my brother and father in arms. Thank you so much. I'm going to close off with this. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions. Then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Thank you. Also, get in touch with me if you feel that there are any dads that should be shared on this platform. I'm on a purposeful journey to showcase 100 dads before the end of this year. Please help me reach that, because there are many dads out there that stories need to be shared, not only for themselves, for other dads, for families, but for the world. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourself grace. God bless. Peace be well. Keep the faith and walk good.